He pushed for 10 minutes, rested for 5, and every half hour during a radio commercial checked to see if his smile had improved. It hadn't. Eventually he grew bored and went outside with an old gym sock to wipe down his bike, a 10-speed from Montgomery Ward. His thumbs were tired and wrinkled and pink, the way they got when he stayed in the bathtub too long. Alfonso's older brother, Ernie, rode up on his Montgomery Ward bicycle looking depressed. He parked his bike against a peach tree and sat on the back steps, keeping his head down and stepping on ants that came too close. Alfonso knew better than to say anything when Ernie looked mad. He turned his bike over, balancing it on the handlebars and seat, and flossed the spokes with a sock. When he was finished, he pressed a knuckle to his teeth until they tingled. Ernie groaned and said, "Aw, man." Alfonso waited a few minutes before asking, "What's the matter?" He pretended not to be too interested. He picked up a wad of steel wool and continued cleaning the spokes. Ernie hesitated, not sure if Alfonso would laugh, but it came out. "Those girls didn't show up, and you better not laugh." "What girls?" Then Alfonso remembered his brother bragging about how he and Frosty met 2 girls from Kings Canyon Junior High last week on Halloween night. They were dressed as gypsies, the costume for all poor chicanas. They just had to borrow scarves and gaudy red lipstick from their abuelitas. Alfonso walked over to his brother. He compared their 2 bikes. His gleamed like a handful of dimes, while Ernie's looked dirty. "They said we were supposed to wait at the corner, but they didn't show up. Me and Frosty waited and waited like pendejos. They were playing games with us." Alfonso thought that was a pretty dirty trick, but sort of funny too. He would have to try that someday. "Were they cute?" Alfonso asked. "I guess so. Do you think you could recognize them?" "If they were wearing red lipstick, maybe." Alfonso sat with his brother in silence, both of them smearing ants with their floppy high tops. Girls could sure act weird, especially the ones you meet on Halloween. Later that day, Alfonso sat on the porch pressing on his teeth. Press, relax. Press, relax. His portable radio was on, but not loud enough to make Mr. Rojas come down the steps and wave his cane at him. Alfonso's father drove up. Alfonso could tell by the way he sat in his truck, a Datsun with a different colored front fender, that his team had lost their softball game. Alfonso got off the porch in a hurry because he knew his father would be in a bad mood. He went to the backyard where he unlocked his bike, sat on it with the kickstand down, and pressed on his teeth. He punched himself in the stomach and growled, "Cuts!" Then he patted his butch and whispered, "Fresh." After a while, Alfonso pedaled up the street, hands in his pockets, toward Foster's Freeze, where he was chased by a rat-like chihuahua. At his old school, John Burroughs Elementary, he found a kid hanging upside down on the top of a barbed wire fence with a girl looking up at him. Alfonso skidded to a stop and helped the kid untangle his pants from the barbed wire. The kid was grateful. He had been afraid he would have to stay up there all night. His sister, who was Alfonso's age, was also grateful. If she had to go home and tell her mother that Frankie was stuck on a fence and couldn't get down, she would get scolded. "Thanks," she said. "What's your name?" Alfonso remembered her from his school and noticed that she was kind of cute, with ponytails and straight teeth. "Alfonso, you go to my school, huh?" "Yeah, I've seen you around. You live nearby?" "Over on Madison. My uncle used to live on that street, but he moved to Stockton. Stockton's near Sacramento, isn't it? You been there?" "No." Alfonso looked down at his shoes. He wanted to say something clever the way people do on TV, but the only thing he could think to say was that the governor lived in Sacramento. As soon as he shared this observation, he winced inside. Alfonso walked with the girl and the boy as they started for home. They didn't talk much. Every few steps, the girl, whose name was Sandra, would look at him out of the corner of her eye, and Alfonso would look away. He learned that she was in 7th grade, just like him, and that she had a pet terrier named Queenie. Her father was a mechanic at Rudy's Speedy Repair.